by not using the broad.
What are we using?
Any vehicle.
Where is it going, right?
It's,
And I mean-
so when we,
That's, and the chief, I went back and looked at the chief's email, that was sort of, I think he was just wanting a 1 or 2 sentence thing, I just sort of kept the same.
and it,
That's-
Carmel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's, we were the same. Specifically hearing.
The new version.
Oh, he did in the old version have.
So, I interpreted that as it says no vehicle. It's high, and that's very wrong. It says should be stopped at the street for any reason. 15. No.
Here in thousand.
So the way I read it was that this section. And then if you go around. So. I mean.
Oh. That's what.
Or pavement.
Or.
Yeah.
Now, over 70.
That's kind of. I'm like,
That's just a.
You brought your how long, I don't know that.
Yeah, this is a minor for we shoot Joe. For high restriction.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 10 seconds.
So we said we were grabbing.
And I. It's not.
So I remember an airplane being flying that way because I had situation it's been several years ago. I was new here at that point.
Check load.
Research, yeah.
Nothing. Flowers in it.
Yeah.
I was, yeah, I started getting over.
But now I'm saying. So.
That requires several motions.
Wait there. we gotta-
With the whole.
Between 53 or-
Getting on each other.
Yeah.
That's where I am. We like it.
Well, that's something I. Make one hour.
It's tonight.
Now. Be the one, someone. 33,000 this year, you know, I'm.
Well, yeah, we'll just.
Yeah.
People just. That's it. Yeah. Not much of an improvement.
I would say it was the best.
Sorry. No, I had. Nope. And I couldn't remember what all of them. I did. Thank you. Why? Sorry.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Call the meeting to order, if you would please stand and join me.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of and to the republic that stands indivisible with liberty and justice.
This time we'll open the floor. 2025, an additional appropriations for the edit fund for $50,000. This is in relation to property on South Battery. Is that much paid for? Any public comments on that? Or seeing none, we will close that public hearing. Ordinance number 14-2025, the 2026 budget. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing on that. Move next to minutes. Everybody had a chance to review those for the August 4th regular council meeting, unsafe filling authority hearing on the August.
Move to approve both.
Properly moved. Say aye. Opposed? Yeah. The public, we don't have Gary for Heart of Hagerstown. Or
Just remind you, you hate recycling on the 20th.
that's at, I believe,
Shelley, you
that sounds right, yeah. Next up, Robert Bullock.
Well, most of you know, I have been in this town for over 65 years. I was public for 75 or 57 years. And dedicated time to this town. Behind me there, wall, I presented that. And I have treated our farmer, building. And, yes. And I'm, tonight, last tab in. Years. Everybody. Just, I can say more of the town. I'm moving to Eagle River, Alaska next month, the end of the month. So, River, Alaska.
And so having come.
I'll just say, round of applause.
Can we let Joe tired from some fire department not resigning? This member, former member, when he was a reserve in the police department, and worked with him at Culberson Ambulance, and having known him since I moved to Hagerstown in 19, can't say enough about him.
And my sister for many years. We got along great together. There's sometimes we agree on everything, but we always work things out. But I'm going to wish you the best. Last name's Cobra, apparently. I do appreciate you. Yeah. Appreciate everything that's man. You're so neat, my son. That years.
What I will say is your continuing legacy. Very best to uphold the responsibilities that you have displayed on this day. Next up, we have 2 refunds. 5 Lexington Lane. With that.
Biggest do the sewer and for 1 month last month, and Gretchen figured it 118, 24. Big.
Asking for credit or
Refund, which is already paid.
Is that applied as a credit or are you just gonna issue for a check?
Probably
Which option's best for her?
now we have a little.
funding for?
She actually just moved there.
I'll make a motion that we approve the refund for, let's see, Fields at 55 Lexington Lane for 108.
Correctly moved and seconded. Accept the sewer refund for. By saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Now I have one for.
Should be East first. And this. Water softener. That, for 2 months, which she has not paid yet, so that would be a credit, 309.40.
I assume this address hasn't received a credit before there.
Yes.
What would you think? Apply the credit. The 309.42 to the account. So
We'll probably move and second sewer credit to. $109.42. All those in favor, by saying aye. Aye. Opposed. Town clerk. Ordinance number 13/2025, the additional appropriation of the edit fund for 50,000. Julie, anything more in depth on that? Okay.
For work.
When that,
We already got,
we need to be reimbursed for that.
Yeah, we can see that.
yeah,
So we're just creating a bucket or line item to map the reimbursement, correct?
136,000 for. We've taken out 100,000 for the. We have the money, but we just have to appropriate.
Okay.
Does that make
That is
sense?
essentially.
So this is the we're taking that,
They wanted us to pay it first.
and where did we pay that out of?
That-
Okay, so just to put it back in.
Yes.
So we have to make a motion. Spend the 20 the edit fund to place. That we,
Been properly moved and seconded with that, it's number 13/2025, the additional appropriation of the edit fund amount. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed.
where did the other?
Yeah.
For 20 somewhere, or what is that 20?
Well, top of my head.
Yeah. So we got 50. We got, yeah,
It could be the end of the year, so I don't have to do another. Use the but
And reduce the budget, not to vote on it. Or not to. Reduce it.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number 14/2025, budget 2026.
Second,
From properly introduce ordinance number 14/2025. Opposed? I've been your. First, 2026.
One breakers. Yeah.
I'm essentially to accept. And this is for 1 year.
And it actually went down, correct, just a fraction. And then, like, we here, they give us payment.
Yeah.
I think it's just good information.
That's not the vote.
To mention though, the fact that AIM accounts are doing well enough for town of Hagerstown. Actually, the whole fund has done well. We give a payment.
Motion. The 2026. Insurance. Premiums.
Second.
It's been properly set the 1 year renewal for the AIM Medical Trust for 2026. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All. Okay, website.
So for the company, they had stopped in, said that we were in need of a new website. Didn't give us a price breakdown as to what that would look like, but the in-house technology they provide, like cities, they said exactly the same, but they could provide more cost, and they could be done within the next couple of months. And it also provides a staff member or two.
Chris, what are your thoughts on data farm site?
I think it definitely needs it updated. I think, like Jeff and I discussed, is we need a designated person that it's their duty to keep it up. Reports, I do. This gift card or something, but we need something native and relevant. It's just, that's the thing, yeah.
After last, well, I guess. We. Just, we're. Pretty hard compared to what a lot of,
I would say in the modern, especially now, streaming the server, the council makes robust enough data.
Jeff and I just be working with the school that have. Yeah, you might know better than I do. It's like a lab where we set up like a newscast or something now that they do. Yeah. Well, you can teach up.
Yeah.
You're going to teach up.
Studio.
We're talking about interview of the here, do the town hall, and then that's the thing on its website, so that would give someone that's interested to Hagerstown or just out more of our community or past, and that would give them a connection to our.
So sister city very vital. maintain, having connections. And do it this time to introduce the town, different things. Not quite that part, because this is a lot of date, but so something we get a committee started or a, but my first, we had conversations. Right. So, yeah, those started.
And then Jim, the Western Green News, having an issue with finding last month. Oh,
Or he was on the, I said,
they got records. I couldn't find the website. Yeah.
Well, I would say, I mean, by law, we just have a hard copy, we have to, all new stuff.
So, yeah, the, summary of the guidance. The live, especially which parent. Archive copies of live submissions, which you. Even don't yet. You have to have meeting notice, and post on the website link for live transmission. And then to make available copies of live transmission. Each archive copy the meeting's agenda, minutes, and so have that. I don't think, at the end of do it this month, but we need to make corrections. If that's a reason to put our website, that's good purpose. Is that for council?
That's fine.
But I think anybody who says he might need to virtually all those people. If I think you do that, then you may get a little website.
To the minute, get good. So it's a month delay.
So I think we could handle that a couple different ways. I think you're right. I think they should really only be posted approved, or be posted and noted that they're in draft format, subject to approval. See minutes or not.
The law guidance within a certain amount of time frame they have to be posted.
Just says each archived copy must provide access links to the minutes and memorandum. Did not see any on we
doing that.
Yeah. Our rule is better, but yeah, reasonable.
I would assume these copies go into the book after tonight, we've approved them, they get signed. So, I mean, a month's granted as it's the system is that. So,
My recommendation would be I would post them once approved. Because technically it's become a legal document and they can be used what you say, what happened in your meeting. If you're passionate about it, you drafts.
Is this? That. That time frame has to be. Or is it thank you?
It does, it needs to be provide an access link to the agenda, but it does not say, I think I have anything on. Timeframe. I mean. I can look and see if there's a time frame.
So kicking it back to your desk for 50 North Plum.
So 450 North Plum. So here is the order on the review hearing that we had in August. So we sort of summarize what happened. Was set for February 3rd. And then Tom presented via report, which had several different exhibits to it. So the finding is that the order allocations we could be has not been completed. Then some advisements. So we just need to sign this, and we can get it recorded. And then that will attach to the property. But that's really just a summary part of the last. That's the order on the free. Emailed all of you. Well, I guess I said it's for the.
I have one here.
Okay, we can go ahead and open that bid. I think my recommendation is we take things under advisement. I don't know if you.
Structure. Estimates for the town of Hagerstown, 490 East College Street, Hagerstown, Indiana, 47346. Job scope for unsafe structure located at 450 North Plum Street, Hagerstown, with a highlighted note. Project is I don't see anything for that degree. 14,300 even.
Chris, does Tom say anything about possible aspect?
Yeah, that is that's process they'll have, we'll hire someone to go in and do that, but that's depending on it, and they tell us at that time. Without that, I don't have a. I'm on that.
Company, you hire a company, the construction does not. It's the town of Hagerstown.
Whoever
Access to that, yeah, whoever have access to house. It was actually the edit for the intake to be out. The schedule of what we pay for. It's like 8 to 1,200 dollars for the stick, and then the removal, depending on the extent. It's going to drop, you know.
Asbestos shingles underneath siding. It's that
cost can be rolled in. A lot with a lien on it and. Trusting that property groups eventually not pay that lien. Tax. So you've received the one bid, and as I said, my recommendation for you tonight would be to just take that under advisement. A couple different reasons for that. One is, Judge Chuck Todd. Kind of look at everything. Statutes. Here. He being, Tom is not present. We can't jump to a demolition without giving you specific notice that we're now going back to a demolition order. Because this was back in September. We called him before. He was correct. A review in January, scheduled. On the record, he would have all those violations cured by the 1st. He did not. I think in July, continued, and we bumped it into August. So, because of that statute, all of you, nation would be that we set either a we want to do a special hearing to things moving. Get September, we can schedule it for October. Get him back in here and what Tom, the enforcement, Tom would need to that essentially complaint. Because as I Tom today, I said, well, you're essentially, you're law enforcement, you know, in this case, the judge, jury here, decide demolition or not. Have some respiration because at this point, it's taken a long time, but his perspective, things cleaned up. The main issue, which is still a violation, will trigger demolition when it's vacant. So, you know, like, you want to take.
On Tom's packet, pictures taken from the outside house looking in. And then I bring up the fact that maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, somebody warrant gained access to that. Have that in our packet. Because it's demo a house. It's
And that I think is concern and.
why did
So, you know, we still have the ability to get the administrative warrant to go in. The neighbor's problem, things to be addressed if we get inside, cleaned up. This month and house. I think. But, he said, he's worked with Kyle in the past. As they had a good discussion. Mr. Tom is committed to do, windows, the exterior completed by October 15th.
you convert it?
So that was a discussion, me, being Kyle, and was not frustration with process and what's gone on. That he feels like, well, no, I'm not welcome here. I'm just gonna get it done and convert to a rental and instead of being owner occupied. So the next place but you've made this to us, you know, repeatedly. Well, yeah, on that, you know. So I tried to report to him. We got to, and you know, I don't think anybody wants to. We're getting there. I tried to get that to him, and you know, I think Tom, I think most guys and kind of get a feel, but he's essentially, I think, has to be on any demolition into October. We could over and see where we are. When I say, and that would be him requesting Tom Cannon and demolition. And then if demolition bid to go now. I just get the house cleaned up and order and do the violence.
Two issues, I think it's a moot point. Property turns into an occupied property or a tenant. Say that if he sells it, there's always a potential that, right, to buy that. So I don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, he was just, I think, so frustrated. That's there forever. Owner that's difficult.
Well, frustration. Are there any provisions in the law at some point where all his studies and defend himself in a situation where summary judgment can be entered? Because he's you and he's been given notice when we meet. And my fear is continue to do that, prolonging this.
So I guess two things. So the last few hearings, we were able to get penalty, which was the record. But your point is a summary judgment, the reason, and we go ahead and do the original one specific statute. There was no question that he got service. He got service as a review hearing because it was a review. We'd already converted the demolition order, we converted it to read. Then we came back in August and said, well, have you read? Really? Him being here, if he would have been here, then he would have. But that's statute. If we set a demolition hearing in October, he decides not to appear, we can defer. Because we would get notice, so we would know that by certified. Done before.
Okay, that was my continue.
He doesn't
Not appear to lose so.
actually the. And
It makes you feel better.
So my concern is not just that. All along, being somebody's property and demolished. We played the game with him. Conversations maybe after the meeting, our ducks in a row, our ducks, the T's and dotting the I. Part of that is getting in that house and taking photographs of seeing why it's deemed as well. If we set a precedent, his house, okay, says it's empty. That's not good. It's not good business.
Case in point. The
And we need to have somebody doing that. That has got to be done. Right? Tear that house down.
let's say Nugent decides about hey, house is unoccupied. We set a precedent, we can go tear the future. Because it's an unoccupied.
We'll take it to the extremes, but yeah. The only keep this house down is because you say is in essence, that's what.
I want you to hear that, Tom. I'm not buying it in probably wrong, but there's still some wood instead of. It's some. I think my reading there, you come in with some other violations, but. And that's why we gotta make sure that it's checked off, because you can't undo that now. It's a $5,000 fine, well, you.
I emphasize for the have empty sitting there, you know, you got the house. Right. So that is, we don't have pictures now. And a justification. The code enforcement is telling us that's unsafe, that's unsafe. The floor doors safe, the electric. A permit issue, right? All that. What, one outlet, is that mine?
It was like a construction. Yeah. Remember, they have a junction, in terms of mixed up.
Yes, and I had Julie check too. Snippet of electricity, but other than that.
Brought up warrant. How quickly could we secure that warrant to allow Cannon to enter that premises? I mean, like Tony was saying, because he copied me, and I'm the more we have, the more likely we are to get convicted. So, and not necessarily to establish it, but have a basis of like we said, we're the house down.
Right, yeah, I think we do have pictures there, so that would have been about a year ago.
Something
out.
Current.
I would agree with that. At that time, I think it was.
But how difficult?
It's not difficult. I'll have to check. I believe that we petitioned to Wayne County courts and explain the situation and get administrative and authority to go. Kind of ask him, by him, and just to say, the meeting, now, like I said, they today. If you guys are okay, I can reach out to Tom tomorrow and say, reach out to Kyle, 24 hours to make. And not, let's get a warrant to allow you to and see what. Back, they decide to still get. Meeting. If Mr. Cannon wants to proceed with demolition or for you guys.
Raw water, dilapidated foundation. Yeah, that's something that shows that thing's unsafe other than.
That's your pleasure, I can certainly lean on that.
Do we need to make a motion and approve that? Or can we?
His job.
Okay.
No, just the minutes can reflect that, I'm gonna work with it. For the inside. And then hopefully, he will make a recommendation to you all. How he thinks things should proceed.
So we should see something. Whether it be warrant or. How long do we? For commission meeting.
He needs, Kyle Thomas needs to have at least 10 days, so.
Depending on when we get that back. To consider the 10 day. Yes. Tomorrow when we get it. Days we need. Keep pressure on and move it forward. But I want sure when we move forward, we've got hearing that we don't have the evidence, then I'm sorry.
And I mean, that's going to kind of be whether or not he pressed it or file. But the guys, as instruction to him is we'll get in and see if there's any.
Yeah, that's what we're asking.
Let's see, because this is on everybody's side. Get off of that.
Hey, you way of saying
You know, the way.
Is there a way to get some clarity too on bids to make? Is there an say? Our ruling was on just the house and not the, we're allowed to have a garage on a lot, even though we've done it ourselves. It's still not the plan.
Ordinance says that you can't have an structure.
There's enough, because you're gonna have square feet to build on it. Once we tear the house down and now there's a garage left in there, now you can't buy and build on it unless there's a variance.
This says that this has to draw the funds 15.
We get clear on what. And we can just. Use that. I've got mine on detached, but I will be from.
Having a tax.
I want correct. Detached.
It's on the
Side.
yeah, it's where the other boarded up door is.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Anything further?
I think so. I know we have the about the trailer. We'll cover that. There's an issue with depth of the ordinance.
Go ahead, Wallace, here, or, yeah.
Okay, so be with me, but I keep on with all of you and the chief. Yeah, there is. So there was a question, he attempted, I think, sites. And
Process was. Park. Sent the letter that violent ordinance be moved off. Well, he responded back and said that his understanding of his trailer was not an ordinance based dimensions. Shop and basically was correct by that the originally written addressing that. I was understanding and assumption that ordinance prohibited all trailers parked on the road, which I believe originally that the ordinance was due, but dimensions kind of changed. So I request if that's still going to prohibit now for that provision that needs to be adjusted to prohibit trailers. Because I will tell you that smaller is probably 90% of the issue with parking trailer. That's want to continue. We need to make that adjustment to prohibit any trailer regardless of size.
Trailer and they hook on it to their, or bring it back at night, take it out the next day. That's the problem.
It is. That's where we're running into. When it first started, we did long construction jobs. The trailers home at night. They're on in some people take them and then use their vehicle. Most part, that problem's taken down. So, us enforcing, we don't run it much, but I know we don't that everybody in utility will bring them right. That really were, so there's to, like I was telling, occasionally there'll be a contractor will be putting a roof on a house and we will have a discussion and be like, hey, it's 3 days. If you got right, completing that job, make it everything, you can do that. And what will happen is, project, they'll take them in the weeks, not staying there all weekend, except, but again, those are the majority of issues I run. A lot of renters here, really, as in front of the house, is unhooking and parking and leaving sitting.
statute and nothing, I'm going to raise some good points. Go back and look at it. But the first section seems that very broad, trailer, you have to leave a 50. The police department can tow them. Talks about ways for that. It's on and it defines trailer, wide vehicle. That's the issue. The definition of an attached trailer with some wide vehicle feet by something. And to me, that was sort of, so we wanted to make. So I guess what I would suggest is take a look at it, and we just got take a look at the rush. So I'll take a look at it, come back next month, see what you think, and email me in the interim. If it makes sense. Get down to where it just says, you know, any vehicle is not our streets. Shared that there's a lot of this was semi-trailer targeted towards semi-trailers and then.
Like, I've had a discussion for over an hour one day. He's up and yanks their. Or the a vehicle. Statute. Except a train. Anything that moves people or goods is considered a vehicle. A trailer, in the broader term, is a vehicle. We have the word vehicle. We want to redefine vehicle on that definition, because it's not defines boats, aircraft, moved in street house. That is go through and let everything is.
I agree with you. Go with that definition. You don't even need detached trailer in there.
Yeah, the detached trailer was something that, you know.
Right.
But that also is anything over what you walk for a truck. Why? So again, if we want to put with what we in Hagerstown say a vehicle is, which is state statute, it can be. I'm not saying people park every evening, but yeah, they're broad. Then you're going to have to in there.
Yeah, maybe you just need to just say none, you know, no trailers. Or, you know, just one statement that incorporates.
Right.
Where people vehicle, they come in at night, park their vehicle out the street, it's got to be removed as, because that would be a vehicle.
No.
Remove goods.
But it's going to be every 72 hours. You just can't sit there for 2 hours. No.
Yeah, or else be red tagged as an abandoned vehicle in addition to.
Law enforcement.
Yeah.
It's not required. Don't remove vehicles that have weeds growing up between. You know, just because grandma comes and she's there for 4 days, you're not going to tow tag her vehicle. We know that. That's not the enforcement side of it, but a tool placed in his tool nuisance. Like that, everybody who speeds does not get a ticket. So it's just, I don't, just broader that in some instances help, even though sometimes it doesn't. If you don't, then we're going to have to define what snowmobiles are. It's gonna, well, it's registered. We'll allow the garage, because I'm going to do my garage for 2 weeks. So now we got somebody's Paris sale or whatever is going on there. Somebody, like I said, yanks a boat off a trailer and puts it up on the block down your house. That's considered a vehicle. We have that definition. Now he has to, if it's in violation of the city code, we're going to define everything that's a vehicle, or we're going to use that broader definition of a vehicle. Trailer, we can define that, but well, I think we need to consider vehicle, because near the first. Because it says any vehicle, any type, whether it's defined in statute or this ordinance or not. And it doesn't reference the 15 feet. Further, it's references. Use product vehicle when it was covered the first time.
I want to go back and look at it, interpret it. And talked about 15 feet, and then it went in and other definition.
Yes.
I just wanted to make it was covered.
And I think to clean it up, somebody looking,
Right.
doesn't have the knowledge. The same way. That was
confusing the detail. Everybody will detached trailer and then the definition on it, I think it had to be feet or 12. And they're like, well, my small trailer is smaller than that.
I'm absolutely sure that was put in. Trailers that would be. Down. Factories here. We had some. Vehicle. Was there white? If they wanted to pull up there and drop off. So you got the definition of a light vehicle, but. There's trailer, so I think, again, we were particular. A semi. They put their jacks down, and next thing you know, it's tearing up infrastructure. Working. Broke a water main. I'm afraid that language for the trailer was put in there, but it's confusing. And I think the chief put that line first time this ordinance was written. Vehicle. Yeah.
It's
Well, I think the intent there is there, and I think. Why? Clean it up. I think we should be off. And you know, that's any device that moves human goods except for a train or a bicycle. And I think it does talk about electric scooters and stuff like that. That's in the definition.
Like the golf, whoever at that time. A golf cart, which is the purpose of transporting golfers in there. So letter that ordinance and letter to the state. All the carts that run up and down the street to have vert facing seats are illegal because they don't have racks for. Department's always kind of.
The right thing. I just think if we're gonna clean up that one portion of it, into adding the definition of what a vehicle is without defining it. Broad.
Just simple definition, make out the exceptions for the minor cuts of the travel trailer,
Right, if you want to leave those, that's fine, but I would still use the definition of broader terms. I think that there's language in there that says that regardless whether it's defined in the statute. So even if this way, you know, 4 or 5 that are hard, I think it's a wrong opportunity to, it's a broader scope.
I'll look at that. You all can take a look if you have. We can, so. Next one.
It's worth cleaning up and having that.
Yes. She can give me input, there's some.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank Keith for clarifying the question I had about the contractors, because of understanding when that was adopted, there was an exception. Very quickly clarified that for me, and I appreciate Keith.
I think it's all right.
Liaison reports, Parks and Recreation.
11. Main topic of conversation was the dog park. And, apparently Beeson, I relayed to council's concern about the lack of a and Mr. Beeson sketch, including having a wooden fence. The logic behind that is the dogs, if there's other activity, the EAA part, and they're doing, there won't be by the dogs. He designed it to where it has, to where you go in, one gate behind, and then open another gate where the dogs are always in containment. They can't run out. I know Mr. Warner had raised at the last meeting, planning on putting it because so understanding that you spoke to Mike Beeson.
Yeah.
And for the property.
I mean.
But have a soccer field.
Okay, well, any concerns with the Optimist Club on where they're playing?
At the time I had this, talking in general terms, and there was no. I can't say. Look where the soccer fields are now. That.
Okay. To do that. Diagram that he drew up, has a unit 100 feet by 100 feet, completely contained by tall and equipment they'll have in there. They're already looking like exercise they would use to train lines. And then they also talked about just doing stuff at the park, improvements for the drainage for the Little League field, the dugout on the base flooded easily. I was at that meeting. They can write their own ordinances because they're considered a government entity. John's going to help a couple of President and Sandy Campbell kind of volunteered that. And then one note on February, Mike Kingston will celebrate annual affiliation with Hagerstown Parks and Rec. I think that needs to be recognized somehow. That's all I got.
Excellent. Heard a clarification.
Okay.
My recommendation would, surely we have a little bit of asphalt chalk left. I would probably ask Mike to go down 100 by 100 space and have the Optimist, a representative or representatives from the Optimist go down and look at that and make sure everybody's in approval instead of saying southwest curve. I mean, so that before everybody's in agreement.
I think that's Joe.
So is this the area that you can't see in? Oh,
I think
that resistance.
I think the main, that might not, I think what Mike was saying is if the kids are playing ball, and there's a dog, of course, is not going to see the ball. You know, like, so I think it might two sides maybe north side might be chain link and then two sides. Rather than, because I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd be scared to go into it.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that at some camera system have cameras. With the park board does not mean get. So, can you talk to Mike Beeson
Yeah, I will.
and see if he can lay out something like, this, maybe down there and they can kind of hash it out together.
Sure. Police department.
Couple quick things, I had ops board meeting a couple weeks ago, and on all the small town police departments. How all that operates, but there was an issue at the last one that, biggest in the county with between volunteer fire. One of the things that was broken, most of the fire hour was up at, they, kudos at the meeting. It was mentioned that, the town allows utility workers to respond to calls with fire department, et cetera, so that with case, rarely has issues as far as not having power, after they're called, why, other communities all the way to Hagerstown, that that was a positive thing, and for what saying there that we're the only, you know, that benefit. Why just, you know, about the town, and the bill always have, you know, better response with the manpower. Other than that, the only thing I had is we did have a busy, two balls through this all a month before, so it was a busy month. And
Got a fire call, something that big thing support the new bid for the apron out front. They've waiting for 28,000. It's already happened. That group accepted, he dropped out, and we have to accept them.
If you're comfortable with the bid, then yeah, take the next one.
So it's not required that we do.
You got it. Good performance, so, yeah.
Go talk to Julie about it and get. I know some of the money, that was being, the topper that they sold. I think the donation account was like the building. Maintenance. There's another line. For, I think, a little bit. Like our physicals, and it was $25. Uses.
I will say from being on the officers of the department, that line usually gets saved till the end of the year for anybody that needs it, should need paid out. Then it kind of, there were other items where it to be made for this year, that this lines around, so that might be something putting in place as we get the end of the year with moving, kind of compensating some of those funds.
So many years ago, actually had somebody even test or that to the doctor office, and there was a nurse. Denny's spot. We had to breathe on a machine and everything for.
Only the fire station.
They're fixed.
Yeah, the mask.
Yes.
But there was, yeah. Their lung test and we're not where,
That may be that one.
and
Because I know ever since I've been
Right.
in the officers. So that's been good. So I would say the way that we, yeah, move that around if we have to reassess the.
Because we're using the 14 as by that.
Yeah, it was come out, yeah.
Well-
Yeah, that's what we talked, yeah.
Yeah.
the money for recovery. We just need to move forward, correct?
No, we can move forward with it because we don't have to make a separate motion, except bid, do we?
No, I think I would do that. Get another.
You can move forward with that, because the money's there.
Get a motion to.
Make a motion that we approve bid from Davis meeting for 28 months.
From properly moved and seconded that we approve the $28,000 award for the fire station. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Mike's the airport board, he where he was not able to make it this evening. But he did want to say nothing much to report. The August flying brought about aircraft. We got quite a few compliments about, we're taking items, a broken door roller, some fresh to the extension of this regard this arena. We did not see any activity this year. The arena itself needs empty. We'll attach it. Last but this is their fly-in camp out plan November 19th.
Down at the airport, and that falling down. Weeds are, it's basically grass inside the arena now.
We've got all of our I's and crossed all our T's in that situation, right?
One of the first things I worked on these. So yeah, we would just cancel the lease and.
So we met, I don't have the date. But anyway, we met nonetheless. 25 West North Market. They did a stop work order there. I think the thoughts was to turn that into like a few different section, like a plan, if you will. So you need some state approval for that. I think, no, that's is now, but
State approval, and I think that they were. I think they wanted that to using it as a duplicate. I think, I don't know if that was for sure. What the thought process.
and then initially brought forward about the 400 block basements. That was that they what was permitted. There was a stop work order, or should have been a stop work order, but that's what the direction was. Explain that a lot better.
Yeah, I called from contract there saying that he had met with someone from IDEM and that they seemed to think everything was okay. Let's see what I got here. Just
We're talking about this old.
yeah. Phil, the back behind that. Yeah. Yeah. Ed Scott, DNR, and he did not believe that, and that it was not. But he had been on the site and seen it, so. Tell him I just got this evening. So this. I think. If there is a flood, there has been. Whole area, then is potentially going to take on 6 inches or, what applications. So that is a concern. Tom's address.
And it's for flooding.
I believe Tom should ask for a release from the any liability on that. I approve that.
Okay.
That's ought to be on. So if there's big issues down there, they pay the bill. Not our,
Very good idea.
you liability from that change. So did they make any comment if they kept raising it, or is it where it is, or can they halfway up? I mean, that's pretty vague to me. I believe I'd tell Tom. I think elevation is a lot, they didn't allow more. Or I'll collect my paycheck, it's okay. I expect a little bit more work out.
The thing is the 100 block of West College Street, reference to the permits for personal use, but sounds like it's being more so used. So that building.
Follow up to the properties on Clay Street that have got a massive junkyard in their backyard. There's 2 properties down there.
That was on his.
Was there?
It's all those.
Yes, it's, there's. Go between,
Right. I think I know the one you're speaking about, but I haven't been involved.
At the corner of South Elm.
On the opposite. Are you from?
there's two houses there. If you drive down, between Markets Place, between Washington Street and Pearl.
Yeah,
Yes.
so. I talked. He's. I haven't followed up with, but, I had.
Those actions.
That he got one, but it's on the south side, but north side or 2 are just. Yeah, there's an abandoned truck with no plate on it, which I gave to.
West of Bridge. That's what Tom is.
Yep.
Okay.
Back into him, but. That's when I talked.
Thanks, Nichols. Would be. Or something.
No.
Yeah. It's a vertical junkyard there.
Unless Brian. What's that?
Already, some flow issues that we're having down in the southwest part, so this will. Lines, wastewater, into the. Station, where it rain. We're trying to utilize it for some of it. We're having some accessibility. Something installed back in the field to where we can access better what's going on there. Water department as a project is going on South Perry. A little here, get my report in here, but fill out another permit 327, which process, but it has been sent back in.
Where
They have Nolan Street. Start putting in 5. I'm not seeing 327.
Okay. We the permit was filed in the middle of July. In the middle. We talked to them about it, they said that wasn't the right permit they filed. So turned around. I talked more, I got the file to Chris. I mean, filled it out, got it to Chris. You got to sign it, sign it, and the engineer from VS sign it. Also talked to IDEN about 30 days after we, which then the September said, we're going to issue. They said, as long as you don't water going through it, going to the services and going to homes, okay, to go ahead and start construction. So we're moving to construction even.
That's in writing.
Conversation.
Okay.
Water department, they've been working on tree trimming, back through the Red Tail Hawk Conservancy. That area down across from the soccer field, that's big. Some Heights projects, the project. Pad mount transformers and wire, and we purchased materials over time. We're going to be project put in, and we're going to be oh, we've got issues out there. Pretty much be more the problem. So that's something we're going to start tackling away on and just work on it as we've had some minor repairs on the sweeper. It's going to need about done to it, which seems funny, but when we purchased it, I think it was $7,500. Redone 17 street sweeper. Boreas for pulling. Probably $75,000 for 2017, $140,000. I don't purchase. I want to keep this one. We can. Be doing tutorial with the crack seal machine. The employees, I'll probably do it this coming Friday. It's a machine that takes at least 4 people off. You're going to be experimenting out in your street. Since it's a dead area. So that's something we all need or not. We're getting some new street signs for Bruce.
Crack College.
It was almost a year ago. I think it might have been 24. So, oh, let's see. Other stuff. With his, he has a garage that pulls out on the and he's had some issues. I'm one of the remedying that. Had a meeting with Wayne County to establish they would be asking $5,000 from communities. We said Centerville, good programs, and a good program for the county. I don't know that much. One thing that I did from the meeting that was really, we said there were 8 developers for building code violations in 2020. So, that affects land bank would be to control who upward. She was just a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to forward. I'm running around with Norfolk and Southern, that's been nuts. Corporate, closer at the local level, when I talk to local, they're saying I need to talk to corporate, so I don't really need.
You know, always if they give you the. Just rail out in the garage out there, and I'm assuming somebody with authority will get a, hey, this is how we get hold of the person we supposed to.
Well, then they tell us to pull up.
Wouldn't, I just take one rail out.
They didn't.
Yes.
Why aren't they paying rent?
I agree, I should, yeah.
Get it in 30 days, you just pull up a rail.
Yeah.
We did, we just.
That was fun.
I got county department. Blood pressure, we want some results.
Yeah, can we talk?
There's a count. Any stuff, and wouldn't bother me a bit.
And, my name is Scott, about. Arnold had been discussing with him about establishing. And he said, we can get him. So I tried to explain to them. But why?
And 3/4 mile. Me too, so.
I know. Weird, I just thought that case anyone. But the other things I had here, I have received. Bills conversation with the bottom with that issue. That changes. Two or three more people have been recommended. Under. Greg, I did.
It's. We looked at the chief back there. Is that still under his control? Moving that off to some the code enforcement.
For the trash on property.
Trash. What, is that still enforcement?
Julie. You have that, yeah. believe it or not.
Nick did it too.
Well, you do, Julie does have time to go out and look, right? So.
But then the junk and car frames and stuff was put up.
We've been handling the.
Or removed.
Yeah, going through that.
That whole.
You know,
So-
that with the vehicles, yes. I haven't worked with the. I like have,
I your job, I don't.
yeah. Until I'm on board,
When
But I
you move
believe
the
he's-
cars, I mean, he can tank them. Stolen, moved, you don't have to. Take them private property. On him to do that, and I don't think that's law enforcement.
Increase Tom's out.
Well,
Well, I mean, we're on.
what are his hours? That somebody says they came in for.
You got, it's got it. So,
It depends, I scheduled an appointment and from that,
Yeah.
pretty much right, so.
One of the things for Chris, just real quick, is so of August. I texted about some of it, but it's not for town employees, someone pointed out the street sweeper that was going through. They did all the tree and shrubbery, and then ironically, I got stopped. Talked to a guy, he started talking about Hagerstown, and he started talking about cemetery and how. He said he did a good job.
I'll relay it on to the 50.
Thank you.
Sure.
I just have the, $1,500.
Right, the letter gets sent to the file the minutes, tell them we're going to see.
Oh, yeah, maybe, but I have, but I think we probably need to regroup, now that we know that they didn't send in the right permit, not only did they. We didn't know it, but.
Permit either for generator that on Main Street is going to require a permit.
And that's what we paid them to do.
Yeah.
About trying to recoup that.
Just need a motion to accept, voice thing.
So
Or unless you have any.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we accept the invoice for $1,300 and all those in favor signify. Aye.
Session and we had insurance and what we should do with insurance going forward in the new budget, but I've been asked tonight that we maybe have another session work session. So I will.
we just,
Actually, I just made, we had really adjusted the cost to the employee. That whether it holds the same or goes down a bit, but over time, it's got the town's portion's got pretty large, what we have to pay. I thought we should take a look and do something drastic, as we haven't done years, but look at doing a little bit to try to when you look at the big number, it's not a massive change, but it's probably like everything else. Anything else we have in town, we just say every year we're going to do at our full increase, so that we don't keep falling. It's our cost to the town is pretty large for insurance, and it's something that we don't need to put our heads in the sand, and we need to look at small increases. I'm not seeing large increases, but small increases kind of help the town. The employees, the one thing I'm not saying perfect, but they have. And who pays a monthly, I give a range 89 to 92% of that cost. So it's a substantial amount we pay on that, which you probably would find myself. So but that was the recommendation, and members that I gave the chief numbers. And I would still feel comfortable that we move in that direction, but this one, I has some comments he would like.
I agree with what Brian's saying. But I also, when I'm third meeting, deep, I still think that's something. This year, everybody raised about cost of living, probably based on what I like for out there should 2.5% living. Basically, we're just barely keeping cost of living with the 3% raise. Around fuel $25 a month or what we discussed different. I think being on the receiving end of that and before that is a route for the minuscule amount of money that we was to raise that if a route killer we keep it raised around and take it back of it or what's the plus around a third of it back. So then premium increase. So when I started thinking about it, is worth it this year? Can we just say this for next year moving forward, lay out a plan of incremental increase going forward, not in the 20th year, but moving forward. So next year budgets and the department that is already on the table and coming. Therefore, pay increases can be adjusted. Count for insurance is not really taxing. And we need to count that in our discussion stuff as we move forward. That was my only thing that I don't disagree. In fact, maybe some adjustment needs to be due that, but I would ask to give some consideration playing plan. So now Prince Chief go in next year in their budgets and they got this forward at a 3% raise. And again, we all know that was still we were doing. And what is the cost of that morale versus all been employed will happen to us. We know patients how we feel after we get a raise and then a third of it gets back. So if we take a third of the raise back, they're not even, and there's a possibility
And 2 years ago, I don't remember exactly when it was. Police department here and got sent across the board raise like we want. There was a significant increase in insurance and everybody's taking pay action. They got a pay raise. And you're right, their morale was down.
so whether the investment for this year, the employees paying back. It's just, it's emotional, it's not a financial thing. Financially, it's probably the thing to do, and that's some aspect that you gotta put back with the employees. And this is our plan. We were talking out the plan forward. But let's that my that we shouldn't start that year. Like with our kids.
I agree. I think that gives everybody for the town, you know, they going to be a surprise to them. Not only can we make adjustments, but they can make adjustments.
Right. Stop. I mean, it's a one heck. And is it something that we ask the employees? Do you want to continue this? Do you want 4%, 3%? What's it worth to you? Employees. And this year, in fact, it's went down. So I understand. I agree with but well, yeah, right. That's my fault, I'm not trying to stab anybody in the back, because I agree there's something to be done. And, but it should settle, you know, I just wanted to share that. You consider moving forward. I don't think there's
25 or 26, I guess, is put off there.
I think
But here's what I want to warn everybody. So if you go into recessionary period of the economy and you pay the cost of those, we're not going to ask them for 4%. And so the insurance goes up instead of taking, they might, well, let's say you have a recession, you have a 4% deflation, so you raise it 3% year, but because of the insurance, half of it. I mean, I don't care if you want to prolong it. Road, government's good at that. I mean, they're good at kicking the can down the road if you want to, but sooner or later, sit down night, you're late to address it, sooner or later you're gonna upset. And they do it all the time. Just talk to somebody on Social Security. Use your Social Security 3%, use your Medicaid, happens. You're done. You don't get, I mean, it's done. It's done every year by your government. I don't want to kick the can down the road, you know. Government's good can kick.
Again, we have awesome insurance for. It's benefit. It's been something that we've touted in our kids. It's all, I mean, this is a good thing for them. And now we're going to make major adjustments to that. To okay, notice. That's just my thought. That's like I said. And I agree with Donnie about, you know, maybe giving them some notice on, you know, maybe thinking forward for what next. Right, same with Brian on it though is if, you know, go down, that's next year. It's the complete opposite, and to try, you know, maybe make that, you know, your employees. And I know at least one employee that I've talked to has said, you know, I love her influence. They just attack one employee. This will just but they've even said, you know, just as I agree, or, you know, so we get around that the employees can have. The fact that you're getting, and that's fine. But I think it would maybe be important to hear from the department heads too. Is
You know,
they're
back about 3 or 5, a lot of people complain about what they're making. Like we have to do that. So contributed to report. Here's always puts big bold letters. It's health insurance, and it's an astronomical amount. But for a couple of years now, and I really think that that's.
Being able to pay that, and it's already our budget. So this massive amount of money each year, it's already budgeted. Did it last year. Forward, we need to start getting back down to some sort of a percentage. And that way, when it does go up and down, then that percentage with it for dollar catch the percentage is what we're trying to work for. Insurance went down a fraction. Next year, fraction, it goes up 10% and 2083. move stuff down that sliding scale with it. Right now, it's not for the week out there costs $10,
I
whatever.
believe. Because Donnie, if it goes. What? The percentage, our cost is substantially more than that. So 11% of $2,000 is a whole lot more than 11% of $2,000. So you just spread that out. Now you even got a wider spread. You got to just be careful. Or they never, you can't pay by percent. It's always. Is that because you got such a big spread? You go by percentage, your spread get bigger. Your percentage, so if you just use whatever that percentage is and you take more numbers than times by the little number, and spread's going to get bigger apart. Because
We did the calculation. Right.
but I was dollars. Yes, I did.
Well, I don't remember.
I think.
I thought you did.
I did the dollars and we gave you what the percentage would be.
So Julie. Yeah.
Two or 3 weeks later, I'll get the paycheck.
So would it be reasonable? Maybe talk to the staff, see what their thoughts are on it.
Well.
Yeah,
Place.
it's just forward with what we talked about, it's fine, it's very minuscule. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Whoever it was that told us that they would be willing to pay more. Here. I would rather pay a little bit more for sure, than having the coverage drop. And it's going to be lower coverage. And
Coverage is dictated.
we can change that. Deductibles and whatever it was. And on an insurance, it is great.
All right, but that's all. Whatever we do with it.
Further. Next regular council meeting will be Monday, October 6th, 6:30. Everybody had a chance to review claims. Properly seconds to accept the claims as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
We move in second, we adjourn. All those by saying aye.
Yeah, but I don't take that.
Want to take a stab at it, Dylan?
I was just trying to think of something.